Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 45 of
45.
Mousesteps
I always
Weekly.
have to say it after
Almost
you.
my age.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Winter Garden, Florida.
New stuff every week. Check them out.
And Maple Leaf Tickets.
Our official ticket agency, the best deals on tickets in town.
The first thing we're going to talk about is the Tangled Area, which has been so big.
Very popular.
In the Magic Kingdom, but at night.
Yeah, it's beautiful at night. The tangled restrooms. Who would have thought restrooms were so
It's
exciting?
not just restrooms, but they have the beautiful lanterns and the seating area.
That's
and
your
the
motto.
tower.
That is your motto. Not just a
restrooms.
restroom. We'll have to get shirts that say
I think
that.
it's nicer, almost nicer than the Fantasyland expansion. No ride. They should have a ride there, but it's still very beautiful.
It is very cool. And again, we're big fans of Tangled, so we enjoy all the beautiful details.
And everybody seems to, people will be like, oh, the tower, but people want to go in the tower. That's what I think I've heard the most is, can I go up there?
You'd have to be pretty small to go up that tower, that particular tower. It's not exactly life size.
And there's no steps.
Right. But so it was only the second or third night that it was opened, and we decided we'd go check it out for the fireworks. How do the fireworks look from the Tangled Area?
They looked really good. I had my tripod for some shots, and you had the video camera.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look from 3 different angles at the fireworks from the new Tangled Area, we'll call it.
And here you can see the bathroom door opening along with fireworks.
That is no more exciting than watching the fireworks over the bathrooms. And here we go. Of course, you had to put it over the tower.
I think this is the best view.
Yeah, but again, when the trees start, the leaves happen. It's winter time, so there really aren't the leaves.
It will start covering it a little more. But right now, if you stand near the Haunted Mansion area,
right.
Yankee Trader, that's a great area.
That was the view we just saw.
That's a nice view.
And this is kind of cool with the lanterns in front. And I think we're going to go back and see the ultimate view once again.
I think this is a great location to watch fireworks if you don't want to be on Main Street. I don't actually like watching the fireworks on Main Street. It's a little crowded for me. So grab a seat over at the Tangled location and enjoy wishes.
You truly can grab a seat.
You can.
A comfortable seat.
Charge your phone.
Yeah, so you can be charging, working on the computer. From this exact angle right here. Here's the finale. So there you go, nighttime at the Tangled restrooms. What could be more exciting than that?
And it was, again, not very crowded, but maybe eventually people will find out it's a nice area.
But the big news of the week.
Disney Springs.
Finally
announced. It took a long time.
Announced. So they announced Disney Springs yesterday, was it? Yesterday, as of when we're recording. And we're going to take a look at Disney Springs right now.
The water tower reminds me of Port Orleans Riverside.
So this is a model that they had on display. And as you can see, there is the pedestrian bridge that's going to cross the road that's currently there. Town center is that area which is going to be sort of like a shopping
and some
area.
Of it's covered, right?
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, a little bit. That part right there is covered. You can see the former Planet Hollywood Dome.
It looks like a planetarium to me.
Yeah, we think it's going to be a different type of a place.
That's what we've heard.
And there's the AMC. You could kind of see the AMC. Right here is the marketplace. There's a view of the marketplace. Looks very similar to how it looks now.
It sounds like, I think you said the Pleasure Island area is going to be really the most changed of everything, but we're going to have the parking garages, a lot going on.
Oh, yeah. This is the landing. So this will be the area that's on the water. There'll be restaurants and things there. Looks very beautiful to me.
And it's going to go from like 75 shops and restaurants to 150. I mean, it's going to be much.
Lots and lots of places to spend your money. Oh, this, by the way, is the town center and also the landing. And in the middle there are the springs.
I'm actually very excited about the whole development.
I think it'll be very cool too. I am actually very excited myself.
I wasn't excited about Hyperion Wharf.
And this is the west side. The west side's going to look very similar.
With more lights.
Yes, apparently there'll be some more lights. They had extra Christmas lights, so we'll string them up. But
I don't think they went into too much detail. It's certainly not as far as the shops and the restaurants. I don't think any detail.
Well, here's an overview right there. Again, there's the AMC to the left. There's the Dome. The Dome is Planet Hollywood. The big building with the lights on it, that would be the town center where a lot of the shopping is. Part will be covered. The water going through in the middle is the springs. The landing is where the restaurants, kind of where Pleasure Island is now, is the landing. And you can't really see the west side, and that's where the current marketplace is now, and it won't really be changing much.
And it will be done by 2016. It opens in phases and construction starts, I believe it was next month.
A lot of excitement going on.
And the reason you're seeing Trader Sam's is we heard a rumor that something similar could come there. I do not know that that's going to happen, but we wanted to share a little bit of it.
Yeah, in case people hadn't heard of or seen Trader Sam's, just in case it were to make an appearance, this is Trader Sam's.
I mean, you really couldn't put this type of thing, I don't think, at Downtown Disney's. There's just too many people, and you can only seat like 40 in here.
I think it would be a better fit at the Polynesian,
I do
personally.
too if you had something similar.
And when you order your drinks at Trader Sam's, there's always some kind of effects that goes along with the specialty drinks.
Like the shipwreck.
Right, the shipwreck. I think we're going to see the shipwreck, which looks very similar to an effect we used to see at the old Adventurers Club.
I think Kevin, I know Kevin and Jody created this, so I
you know
love
that
Trader
personally?
Sam's. Yes, I know it. I think they mentioned it. They mentioned it. So, but anyway, actually, I think maybe Jody.
He actually told us one night at the Polynesian
Polynesian
at 1 a.m. I remember that.
We had a long conversation.
And there is the explosion, the volcano, very much like in the Tiki Room. Reminds me much of the Tiki Room.
Even if we don't get one, if you head out to Disneyland.
There you go.
Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah, go to Disneyland and check it out right now.
It's a must do.
And speaking of must-dos, we're going to go back to Epcot Flower Garden and Food and Wine Festival for the Germany offerings this week.
We decided every week we'll just try something. That way we're not spending like $100 all at once. It feels a little bit
better. Yeah, we'll spend our
$200
over the course of the time. There's the prices here are actually very reasonable. $3.75, and what was the other one?
A few bucks. I mean, we paid about $10. We had the savory bread pudding with mushrooms, meatloaf sandwich, which looks like a big thing of bologna.
And that was in the middle.
And potato pancake. This is actually the savory bread pudding with mushrooms, mushroom ragout, which is fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, that was my favorite too. Although I did like the middle one,
the meatloaf.
The meatloaf.
But you never like Publix meatloaf, which is so much better.
It was. You know what it is? I think it was the mustard. It was the German mustard that made it good.
I'll buy you some German
mustard. I think we
need.
That's the key. That's the key. So anyway, 2 out of the 3, I think. Thumbs up for Germany. Not our favorite, but still good and a good value.
The potato pancake was not as sweet as I was hoping, but still very good.
Also this past week, Disney released for the first time ever on Blu-ray 4 new titles, or 4 previously released,
but not on Blu-ray.
Not on Blu-ray titles, correct.
So we have, here we have Mulan, which is one of my personal favorite Disney films of all time.
Yeah, Mulan is great. I love the music in Mulan. It also includes Mulan 2, which we have not seen yet.
And it has, the songs Reflection and Be a Man, which whenever I get to the Be a Man sequence, I like to watch it over and over again.
I think it's exciting to see them on Blu-ray because the quality, it's just, the animation, hand-drawn animation does look amazing on Blu-ray.
And the Hunchback of Notre Dame I hadn't seen in a while. It wasn't my favorite film when it came out, but the music, anytime if I close my eyes, I feel like I'm at a Broadway show.
And it really, it was a Broadway show in Germany for...
but not here.
Not here, no. But they had stage shows. They had a Disneyland and a Walt Disney World version, which were very well received.
I don't think I ever saw it.
Oh, that is the saddest thing ever.
But
especially, that was the one time the Florida version was the better one, I thought.
But it looks great on Blu-ray, as does Brother Bear, and this was my first time seeing Brother Bear.
And what did you think? I like Brother Bear.
I really enjoy Brother Bear, and it starts slow in the first 15 or so minutes to me, but it's unlike Brave. When Brave, the bears come, to me, then it's not as good. Where with Brother Bear, when the bears come to me, it's
the opposite of Brave.
And I love the watercolor backgrounds. I think very stunning.
Yeah. I agree.
And we have a contest on the site for them.
Yes, be sure to go to the show notes and enter Denise's contest on
Only
Mousesteps.
Through Wednesday.
Only through Wednesday, so do it quick. Also this week, another long-awaited to Blu-ray title, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
25th anniversary.
Yes, finally.
And everybody's still hoping for a sequel. I don't know if that will happen after 25 years, but we enjoyed watching it. It looked great. It looked really great on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, and also the animated shorts, the Roger Rabbit shorts, were also redone for Blu-ray, so I had not seen them, obviously, in high def before, so they look great too. You also had a chance to interview the voice of Roger Rabbit, Mr. Charles Fleischer, this week, and here is just a taste of that interview.
So it's been 25 years since Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and did you realize at the time how groundbreaking that film would end up being?
From the moment I saw the first animation test, I got the chills because I realized that I was going to be part of something that would be around for a long time. Of course, the proof's in the pudding, and here we are 25 years later. The Blu-ray is coming out, and I'm talking to you about it. So, and then, of course, after I saw the film, it just had all the elements of what is a classical movie, a classic film. It's a great story. It has heart, it has passion. It's just an extraordinary combination of science and artistry.
And it's one of the films, really, that Disney fans and film fans talk about more than almost really any film, and hope for a sequel, maybe someday, maybe in another 25 years, who knows. How did you end up getting cast?
The director, Mr. Zemeckis, had seen me do my stand-up comedy years before this film began. And when they were auditioning the actor who would eventually play Eddie Valiant, they needed someone to perform Roger Rabbit off camera. So Zemeckis called me in for that. And after several of those screen tests for the other actor, they asked me if I would want to participate, and obviously I said yes before you.
And you've had actually a long-standing relationship with Robert Zemeckis, being in Back to the Future 2 and Polar Express.
Yes, and even other films of his, I had little bits that aren't as widely known. At Death Becomes Her, I believe I had this just a little voice of a guy knocking on the door. I love Bob Zemeckis. He's just, he's a great filmmaker and a great storyteller, and he's really smart, and he always uses something new. He's a groundbreaker. And even, his adventure into motion capture, he's a pioneer. And it's almost like when Bob Dylan first played electric, a lot of people, kind of scoffed at the idea because it was something new. But Zemeckis is extraordinary talent. And if there ever is a sequel, I'm confident that Bob Z would be involved.
And hopefully you would be as well. I'm sure that would be something you would be interested in if it ever happened.
Most certainly.
Now, most voice acting takes place away from maybe other actors. Like, you don't necessarily even meet the other actors, but you actually were on the set the whole time.
That is correct. That was necessary for several reasons. Number one, to get that interaction, and also to get the sound of the voice. A lot of times I hear voices that are done, and they're done in a studio, and even with the great sound technology, the ambience, just the sound of it, but the voice being in that same space. In addition to that, I was off camera watching whatever Hoskins did, so if he reached out and grabbed me, I could react to that in real time, and it just added another level of realism. And I also had them make me a Roger Rabbit costume that I wore every day as well.
I was going to ask you about that. We saw you in that that outfit. Did the studio actually make it for you?
Yes, Joanne Johnson, the costume designer. I mentioned to Bob that I think I should have a costume, and he kind of laughed. And then she made me this little Roger Rabbit suit. And at first, people thought it was a little nuts. But then Hoskins later came to thank me because it helped him in the visualization process, and it just made sense. I'm on a set doing a movie. These guys are all dressed like they're in the 40s, and that's what you do when you go to the set and you go in your trailer. Part of that transformation into the character you're playing is enhanced when you put on that costume. It's a form of play. It's like being a big kid, so it worked out.
Very cool. I think you did a great job with the interview.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun to interview him. We've done a lot of great interviews lately, and you can see in the show notes we have an article linked up at Mousesteps.
Yeah, you can read the entire interview. It gets very interesting as it goes
on,
interesting. So I recommend checking it out. All right, and now we have some friends here in the world headquarters. Our good friends Ron and Josh from Theme Park University.
Hello again, America.
Hello.
You sound very lifelike.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
Feels
all right.
like it. Thank you very much.
Well, we're going to tell them about our new website. Since the overwhelming success of From Dreamer to Dreamfinder, I was looking for another outlet, and my good friend Josh Young came to me and said, let's do a site together where we talk about the theme park business, the themed entertainment business, not just Disney or Universal, but all forms of interactive entertainment. And so this is the two of us with a third party. The young lady in the middle is Emma Levitt, and I'll tell you a little bit more about her in a second. This, of course, is a picture from the book, From Dreamer to Dreamfinder, and that's me on the job back in 1982.
Do the voice!
What about science? Science! Yes. But I wanted to take a swing at continuing some of the lessons that are detailed in the book. And when I was putting this together, I saw this drawing online and was very impressed with the look this young lady had captured. So I got in touch with her. Her name is Emma Levitt. She's in high school in Georgia, and quite a terrific talent. This is all, she drew this on her math homework and sent me a copy of. There's a page filled with caricatures of Figment, and she's got a real terrific eye and a great hand and a great skill. So we came to her and said, listen, we're thinking of doing this new website. Would you be interested in doing our banners, some of our artwork for us? And this is a sketch she did for a project she and I were talking about, trying to put Dreamfinder back in Epcot Center, at least on paper. And she knocked that out in next to no time. But I started writing articles, the kind of stuff that I've always wanted to do. One of the things I wanted to talk about was this machine. This is the Hackmeister 2000. This is the computer, we believe, that has been writing some of the less sterling scripts that you've seen in some of the parks. Sometimes you'll see a show that you just go, how could anybody write this? Well, the answer is they didn't. It was written by this machine, the Hackmeister 2000. And so
what kind of show could possibly have been written by such a machine?
It's hard to imagine that such a show could possibly exist, let alone run an entire summer. But when you see a show like this is what inspired me to write the interview with the Hackmeister 2000, which is one of my favorite articles. And we have written some great articles about the Golden Horseshoe Review tribute that they just did. And we're working on some more things about different aspects of the creative process that goes into the parks. And we want to try and pass some of our experience on. Josh and I have a combined 60 years of experience in operations and entertainment and food service and stuff like this. And speaking of which, this is Hard Rock Park Gate. Josh is writing a series of articles about that.
Yeah, we're going to do an extensive set of articles about the creation of Hard Rock Park. There was so much work that went into the details of this theme park, and it only lasted one summer in 2008, but I got a chance to talk to a lot of the guys who helped develop the theme park back when they opened, and they were convinced that this was going to be America's next big thing. It was up in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I got access to a lot of great interviews with the CEO and the chief creative officer of the park. And we got to talk about a lot of the details, a lot of the things that they wanted to build. This is some of the concept artwork that came out for Born in the USA, a section of the park. In the back, there's a live performance venue. They wanted the music to live inside the parks. There's a ton of great spaces where you could actually see live music in every land of the park.
Did everything that we're looking at get made?
Not quite. Close, but not quite. We're going to talk about that in next week's article. So you're going to see how some of these concepts actually made it to the final product, and some of them that changed. So we're gonna go into all that, and that's part of the process of what Theme Park University is all about. We really want to talk about the backstage side of things, how a park evolves, and the realities of having to set this stuff up, and why things get cut, and why things end up evolving and changing. And at this point in the concept artwork, there are no major bands that are involved. Eventually they got Led Zeppelin and the Eagles and the Moody Blues involved. So all that changes all those plans, and we talk about that extensively in the series of articles that are already up and the ones that are going to come up in the future. In the back of the artwork that's there right now is a giant Gibson guitar. And at the end of every night, they had a great fireworks show set to Bohemian Rhapsody, my absolute favorite nighttime fireworks show. It blows illuminations out of the water. It was absolutely amazing. This is a section of the park that was called World Rhythms. That entire section of the park ended up getting cut. And ended up changing to a section called Rock and Roll Heaven. But a lot of the original ideas still stayed, and we're going to talk about that next week. Cool country, because this was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Let's face it, it's the South. There was a lot of people who love country music, so they needed to devote an entire section of the park to country music. And the cornerstone of the park was this ice skating show that John Binkowski, the chief creative officer, built, and that's what the whole park was built around. If you go back and read the article, it's a fascinating story of how the whole thing developed.
We're going to link to the article in the site, of course, in the
that's
show
a great
notes,
idea.
So I recommend going and checking it out, absolutely.
Our whole purpose with Theme Park University is to try to raise a level of intelligent discussion online. We're addressing ourselves not only to the people who work in the industry and to the fans, but to the future Imagineers, if you will, the people who are interested in doing this kind of work professionally. We want to talk about the potential of the art form, what the stuff that can be done, why things work when they work and why they don't when they don't, and how to tell the difference. And so I think we've got the perfect combination of talent between Josh and I, and we're looking forward to ruffling a few feathers and putting out some interesting things and getting good feedback from people. We want people to comment back to us, ask us questions, inspire future posts, and we just want to have fun with this.
Well, we look forward to it. We look very...
Well, that was real smooth.
And that's another show.
And thanks to Theme Park Connection in Winter Garden, Florida.
Great place for all your theme park collectible needs.
And Maple Leaf Tickets.
Great place for all your ticket needs. We'll see everybody next week.
Have a great week.
Do the voice!